I am here for the next 40 minutes or so, and my sole purpose in life right now is to relax you. So that is what I'll do, and I know a lot of you like tapping. But I also really love this photo album. It's originally from Paper Chase, but I actually found it in a charity shop. That's where I bought it. And it's got the tube map on it, so if you're not familiar with London, this is the London tube map. It's not the whole tube map. Hang on, let me open it. You can see all the lovely lines. So yeah, let's talk about the tube, shall we? Very familiar with the Northern Line, with the Central Line, with the Circle and District Line, but hang on, sorry, I'm going too fast, because if you don't actually live in London, you'll have no idea what the lines are. So let me just centre myself. Okay, so this here is the Northern Line, and it has two branches. It's got the London Bridge branch in the city, and then it has the Waterloo branch, and it is here, and it's the black line. And then you've got the Victoria line, which is the light blue line, and of course that goes via Victoria Station, but it also stops off at Pimlico, Vauxhall. It terminates in Brixton, so it goes Brixton, Stockwell, Vauxhall, Pimlico, Victoria, Green Park, Oxford Circus, very busy station, because that's where Oxford Street is, and that's the main shopping area in Central. And then it goes to Warren Street and King's Cross, and then all the way up to Walthamstow and beyond. So, and then you've got the Northern Line. The London Bridge branch goes to Bank. Bank is like a big kind of junction in the tube world. Like you get off at Bank and you're walking through a tunnel underground for ages to get to like another tube line. But yeah, I like Bank. Bank is in like the heart of the City of London, or as they call it, the City of London, the Square Mile. And you'll find like all the towers in the City of London. That's where London's built up the most, apart from like Canary Wharf area. But I'm sure if you're from like a city like New York, it won't really impress you, because you've got all the skyscrapers there. But yeah, all the tall buildings are kind of situated in the City of London. And then in London Bridge as well, you've got the Shard, and the Shard is my favourite building in London, and I kind of feel like I'm cheating London a bit, because there are so many historic buildings, and like I picked the Shard as my favourite because it can be a bit soulless, but I just like how pointy it is, and I like the concept. I like the fact that it's supposed to be a shard of glass. Yeah. Madison, you've just got your eyebrows microbladed. You got a job, so you're very happy. Oh, that's amazing. So well done you. You are winning. Yeah, and a bit of self-care with the old eyebrows. So congratulations, Madison. I'm very proud. Well done. Hello, Kelly. Thanks for being an orange member. Oh, Chris says congratulations, and I think that was aimed at Madison. Okay, so yeah, let's go. So we were talking about Bank. What going to tell you about Bank. I've already mentioned that all the tall buildings are in Bank. It's quite quiet on the weekend because Bank is where all the offices are and stuff, so people don't tend to go there on the weekend, so it's a good time to visit, but it's very historical. I love the little cobbled back streets. You have some wonderful pubs around there and around this area. And then, yeah, you can walk to St Paul's from Bank. You do have to pay to get into St Paul's, apart from when they have like a service on. I managed to get in for free around last winter, I think it was. It wasn't this Christmas, actually. No, was it the summer? Anyway, recently, not too far away, I was just walking past St Paul's and I saw people going in and I was like, I'm going to try it. And they let me in for free, and that is the first time I've ever been into St Paul's, believe it or not, being a Londoner as well. And to be honest, I preferred it from the outside. But I went in there and I sat for a bit, and yeah, it was all like cathedral-y and, you know. So yeah, you've got St Paul's, and it's a really nice area around there. You can walk to the river from St Paul's, and then opposite St Paul's, across the river, you have the Tate Modern. You've got like Shakespeare's Globe, and you've got like some really nice pubs on the river. You've got some lovely restaurants. You've got the South Bank. It's very vibrant. And if you walk up a bit, you can get to like the London Eye, which is a very touristy area. I don't really like it around there, just because it is very like touristy. But it is beautiful. But I've gone too far. Yeah, if you get off the Northern Line at Bank, you can change and hop on the Central Line, but remember, everything is mainly in walking distance in like Central, so it's nice to like actually walk instead of getting the tube sometimes. But if you're in a rush, obviously the tube is okay. It's okay to do. It's okay. So yeah, you can hop on and you can go on the Central Line and you can get off at Holborn. And you can walk to Covent Garden. Covent Garden is also a lovely area. It's quite touristy. It's like a big square. It's got like a market in it, and it's got like some shops, very expensive shops, restaurants. Covent Garden is quite a boozy area, so you can go and get drunk. There are pubs, there are lots of bars. And Covent Garden leads you onto like Trafalgar Square. And then beyond Trafalgar Square, you've got Leicester Square, and you have Soho. And Soho is a very, 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 very vibrant area. You can get lost with all the bars in Soho. It's quite fun. Leicester Square is probably the worst part of London for me. I hate Leicester Square. It's so busy and it's just so touristy. No offence to the tourists. But it is a honeypot site. Like, don't go there if you're a tourist. I suppose you'd want to see it once maybe, but like Leicester Square, you've got like a McDonald's, like a Lego store, a Burger King, you've got some cinemas. That's where they have all the premieres and stuff. But what really pisses me off about Leicester Square is the M&M's shop. And I mentioned this before on my live streams, but my opinion hasn't changed. I'm going to talk to you about it again. Since when did M&Ms become a thing? Like, since when did they become a thing? And then there's a whole store dedicated to M&Ms, and you've got M&Ms merch, you've got like hats, towels, backpacks, like, what the fuck? And then obviously you can mix and match like your M&Ms, and it's just weird. I've only been in there once, and that was not of my own choosing, so yeah, that's why I hate Leicester Square. And it's so busy, it's so loud and crowded, but when you come off of Leicester Square, you can get to Chinatown. Not really a town. Chinatown is like a street, and it's got loads of it's got like the community there, but it's mainly lots of restaurants. Yeah. So hello Ronan, how are you? I hope you're looking after yourself. Hello Chris. Hello, 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 hello. Have I always lived in London? No, I haven't. I haven't always lived in London, but for the majority of my life I have. I am definitely a Londoner through and through, even though it is ridiculous to live here. Like, it takes the piss sometimes how expensive things are. It's like ridiculous. You know, for people who have grown up in London, if you don't have, if you grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of money, and you grew up in a family that can't pass on a house or a flat to you, getting on the property ladder is a bloody joke, and it is just ridiculous. So a lot of local Londoners can't get on the property ladder in their own city, which is really annoying. Rent is extortionate. Rent is extortionate in London, as you can imagine, and the amount of times you see like rooms advertised and they're like cupboards under the stairs and they're charging like 800 quid for a cupboard under the stairs is just ridiculous. But yeah, to answer your question, I have mostly lived in London. I have been out a few times as well. So yeah, okay. Well, I think this live stream has a theme, so let's just make this about London. Let's do a London live stream, shall we? How about that? Does that sound good to you? So yeah, if you have any questions, about London, let me know, and we'll chat. Chat and relax. Relax. Scratch, 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 and relax. Ronan, what is the attraction of London given rent is so high? Well, for me, it's because, it's my hometown. So, when you've got, your friends and your family here, you don't really want to, well, I don't particularly want to move away from that. So, one of the attractions of London for people who are local is obviously, they stay here because they're livelihood and their life is here. But I guess for people moving into London, the rent is high, but people moving into London are obviously moving for jobs, aren't they? And there is such a thing as the London living wage or the London waiting. So jobs are usually paid at a higher rate inside London, and it's called the London waiting, just to, even it out a bit. But, the attraction would be jobs. There's a big job market, isn't there, in London? And I don't know what the attraction would be other than those two, really. People just wanting to try it out for a bit and all of that. Hello, Scribod. You ask, what are some hidden gems? Hidden gems? Oh, that's a tough question. Hidden gems of London. I don't know if I'm gonna describe any hidden gems because I don't know if they're gonna be hidden enough for you, but parks, I think, you've got some really lovely green spaces. For example, Highgate Cemetery is really cool. I don't know if I'd describe it as a hidden gem though, but it is really interesting. It depends what you like. there's a cool pub in Charing Cross down a little alley, and it's split in half. So there's a tiny little alley, and half of the pub is on one side, and the other half of the pub is on the other side. That's cool. Where else? The canals are really lovely. Again, like, it's not a hidden gem, but if you go to like Hackney and you walk along like the canals, it's really cool. If you venture outside a bit, you've got like really nice parks, like Crystal Palace Park is quite cool. Yeah. Ronan, you like Shoreditch? Yeah. Shoreditch is still quite cool. It is, yeah. It's where all like the cool people hang out. It's young, it's vibrant, and yeah, it's really, and it's a good night out in Shoreditch. Let's see if I can describe any hidden gems for you along here. I will see, I don't really go west too often. So here we've got Marylebone, Edgware Road, and this is on the Bakerloo line. The Bakerloo line is brown, and it will take you to Paddington. If you've heard of Paddington Bear, Edgware Road is there. You've got Warwick Avenue. You may remember that song by Duffy. I think her name's Duffy. Warwick Avenue. Maida Vale. So that's the Bakerloo line. I don't think I've ever been to Royal Oak before. Who gets on the pink one? I don't even know what the pink one's called. I think the pink one is the Hammersmith and City line, I think. Bermondsey, so a hidden gem of London, you ask. Bermondsey has a really cool thing called the Bermondsey Beer Mile. It's got loads of little microbreweries. I can't say that word, by the way, breweries. And you hop from microbrewery to microbrewery, and you do the Bermondsey Beer Mile. So yeah, that's here in that area. Bermondsey is on the Jubilee line. The Jubilee line. Hey, SWYATT360. You ask, as a native, do you use the tube? You're guessing driving out. Yeah, everyone uses the tube. It's really convenient and very fast. Yeah. I do like to walk though. I do like to walk. If I can walk, I would rather walk. But yeah, everyone hops on the tube. Yeah, so you've got the Jubilee line here. London Bridge is a hidden gem in London Bridge. I'm not going to call them hidden actually. A gem in London Bridge is Borough Market. Borough Market is full of lovely food, lots of artisanal food. Yeah, it's a foodie's paradise. There's a market there, food stalls, and it's located on the Thames as well, and it's really lovely. And then around London Bridge you have Bermondsey Street, and that's a street that has lots of lovely bars on. And then you've also got a place called Vinegar Yard, and it's like this just tiny like little outdoorsy drinking area where you can go in, and they have like little pop-up takeaways stuff, and you can drink outside-ish, if that makes sense. And down towards Southwark, no, more towards Bankside, you've got another place called the Flatiron Square, which is the same thing as like Vinegar Yard, but it's a bit bigger. So it's got loads of like pop-up little takeaway food outlets, and you can sit and you can drink, and it's just like good vibes. So yeah, people go there in the summer. It's always packed in the summer. Okay, So where else can I go? Blackfriars is cool because Blackfriars Bridge is actually a train station. So the train station is actually on the bridge, and that's really cool. Hello Ryan, how are you my lovely? Hello Virgo. Oh my god, Ryan. Funny you chat about the tube. Legit, 2 months ago you missed your train at King's Cross, and you had to pay £130 to get the next. Where were you going? That must have been a... where were you going to pay that amount of money? It must have been far. Here, Barbican, you've got the Barbican Centre. That's really cool. It's like, I think they call it Brutalist. So you've got like the Barbican area, and it's very concrete, very like hard on the old eyes. The buildings are very brutal, solid. It is quite ugly. I'm not gonna lie, but they have made it like pretty inside. And then next to the Barbican you've got Farringdon as well. Farringdon's really cool, lots of offices around there, and then you've got Fabric, which is a very famous club in London, in Farringdon. You go up to Angel, and that is on the Northern Line. The Northern Line is the Black Line, and you can find a really lovely high street in Angel, and you can find the canals around Angel, really lovely walks, very posh houses around there because you're going up towards like Islington is a very posh area. King's Cross is very hustly and bustly. You've got loads of restaurants, loads of bars. It's next to St Pancras as well, and then you can go down and walk along the canal side as well at King's Cross. And they have loads of things to do in the summer, outdoors at King's Cross, so it's quite nice. Another kind of area I don't like to go and visit, if I try to avoid at all costs, is Oxford Street and Tottenham Court Road. So here is Tottenham Court Road, and that is on the Northern Line and the Central Line. You can see they intersect here. And then Oxford Street, or you call it Oxford Circus, is the tube station. There you can get either the Central Line, the Bakerloo Line. The Central Line is the red line. You can get the Bakerloo Line, which is the brown line, or you can get the Victoria Line, which is the blue line. Oxford Circus and Oxford Street like stretches for a while, and then you've got Bond Street as well, which is like the shopping district, and Regent Street and Tottenham Court Road. So that area is just a high street full of shops. They used to have the flagship Topshop store on Oxford Street, and I would argue that was probably the most popular shop on Oxford Street, but Topshop went bust, didn't it? And ASOS has now claimed Topshop or bought it or whatever. But I used to love going into that Topshop store, because it was like really cool back in the day. I would feel really uncool going in, and very poor because like I could never buy many clothes when I was younger. So when I went into Topshop, I'd just feel really uncool because I couldn't afford to be stylish. But then you'd go in, there'd be like a DJ, and there'd be like beautiful people walking around doing their shopping, and there'd be really cool clothes, and I'd be like, I can only buy one thing. Maybe not even that, but yeah. That was when I was like younger. And now it's gone. But there are two big Primarks on Oxford Street now. There's like all the shops you can imagine, they're all on Oxford Street. And then if if you want to go to like the cool shops, you'll walk down a bit and you'll find yourself at Carnaby Street, and that's where all like the cool shoe shops and the like sporty shops are and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a cool area to shop in. Victoria is a bit of a nothing area, to be honest. If you go to Victoria, what would you be going to Victoria for? You could be getting off and going to work. There are offices there. Victoria here is here, so it's kind of near the river almost. It is a main like overground train station, and it also has the tube stops of the Victoria line and the Circle and District line. The Circle line is the yellow line here, and the District is the green, and they travel together for a while, and then they go their separate ways for a bit, but mainly they travel together, really. Here, and then this is where they split, so the District will go east, and the Circle will, well, do a circle. And yeah, Victoria here, you can obviously walk to Chelsea, the Chelsea area, if you get off at Victoria. If you want to go to the fancy areas of London, go to Chelsea, get off at Victoria. Or you can walk to St James's Park and do like Buckingham Palace. Or you can walk to Westminster from Victoria as well, and obviously at Westminster you've got the Cathedral, or Westminster Abbey, whatever it's called, and the Houses of Parliament. And also you can walk up from the Houses of Parliament to Downing Street as well and see all of that, and then that will lead you back up to Trafalgar Square, and then you've got Trafalgar Square, and then you can go to Buckingham Palace, or Trafalgar Square, you can go to Leicester Square or Covent Garden or like Waterloo, basically. Let's just read the comments. Hey Dale D, I hope you're looking after yourself. Ryan, you're good. Good, I'm glad you're good. So you were going back to Newcastle and you put through the train line, but the service you booked on only did the one travel, so you had to get up. Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, so sometimes in London, if you miss a specific train and you've got a ticket for that train only, the ticket inspectors won't let you on the next train, which is bollocks really, isn't it? It is so bollocks. So Ryan here had to pay an extra £130 to get home because he missed his train, basically. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Oh, Zed, thank you. Hey Cecilian, how is the snow? We don't have any snow here at the moment. Is it coming? Is snow coming? I'm good, Dale. How are you, my lovely Zed? You say you're visiting London soon. Any must-sees? Well, it depends what you want. Okay, so we are at Victoria now. Victoria. Knightsbridge is pretty fancy. I don't really go to Knightsbridge a lot, to be honest. Hyde Park Corner is the corner of Hyde Park. And Hyde Park is a very big park, and it leads on to Kensington Gardens as well, and that's all in this area here. So yeah, if you want to get the tube to Hyde Park, you might want to get on the Piccadilly line. The Piccadilly line is the dark blue line. The Piccadilly line is the dark blue line. And that will take you to Gloucester Road, Barons Court. Again, really, I don't really frequent that area too often. It can take you to Covent Garden. The Piccadilly line takes you to Russell Square. Great Ormond Street Hospital is around here, you know, the children's one. It's quite famous. Piccadilly Piccadilly can take you all the way up and away. What else do we have? We've got Shepherd's Bush. That's you want to get off at Shepherd's Bush, which is on the Central Line, for Westfield Shopping Centre. There's a Westfield in Stratford, which is East London, and there's a Westfield Shopping Centre in Shepherd's Bush, which is West London, and they are just two huge shopping centres, you know, a mall, you may describe it as in America, with all the shops in. So, you know, you've got Oxford Street, but on the edges of London you also have two massive shopping centres as well, depending on where you want to go. Zed, so you like to see historical places when you're travelling, okay? Well, London is full of that. You definitely want to go and walk around the city of London, very historical. You can go to the Museum of London and look at all the history there. The little cobbled streets, the really old pubs in the city of London, and the contrast between all the stone buildings and the new like skyscrapers, it's just really lovely. It feels very historic. You can go and do your own Jack the Ripper tour as well if you're interested in that side of things. Historical. Again, all the sites like the Tower of London. You've got Buckingham Palace, Trafalgar Square. Let's look at this map. Historical. The Imperial War Museum, that's called the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum. I mean, it's not historical, but they're really fun as well. But yeah, they draw in big crowds sometimes. Even just walking along the river and going to like the Docklands, really cool. There's lots of history in the Docklands. Greenwich. I haven't mentioned Greenwich yet. Greenwich isn't on this. Greenwich is over here off the map. But you can get on the DLR to go to Greenwich, and that's not on here actually. Oh no, it is. I think that's, yeah. The DLR is this line here, and it's called the Docklands Light Railway. And sorry, my stomach. It's called the Docklands Light Railway, and it is a driverless train, which is really cool. It's like a toy train. I always like sitting on it and sitting in the front and looking out the window. But that will take you to Greenwich, and Greenwich is wonderful. You can see the Cutty Sark, which is it was a tea clipper back in its day. It's this big ship, and they've got it on display near the Thames. So that's really cool. And there are loads of pubs, really old pubs. And there's also a pie and mash shop, like an old school East End pie and mash shop in Greenwich. That's family run, and it's been going for a while. And you get real pie mash and liquor. Liquor is like, I never get liquor. It's like I think it's like a parsley sauce. I'm not too sure, but like the original pie and mash, you would have like pie mash and liquor. And it's like a see-through-y kind of parsley sauce, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, when I go to that pie and mash shop, I get like a vegetarian pie and like a scoop of mash and gravy, but you can get double scoops, you can get double pie, and it's really cheap actually. It's a bargain. So once you've done that, you can take a stroll to Greenwich Park, which is beautiful. It has got the most amazing viewing point of London. You walk up a big hill, and then you turn around, you can just see the whole of London. It's so beautiful. You can see like Canary Wharf, all those buildings, and It's really lovely, and on that hill is the planetarium. So go watch a planetarium show. They've got an underground planetarium screen, like, you know, when you lie back and the screen is above you. It is so cool. Yeah, the best thing to do is do a pub crawl in London. It's great. Said, you're from New York. It's funny, we have so many of the same names for neighbourhoods. Yeah, but who named them first? Are you relaxed? Relaxed, relaxed, relaxed. Tap, tappity tap, 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 and relax, relax. But I haven't really mentioned, like, you know, there's so much more to London. There's the football stadiums, obviously. You've got all the London football stadiums. Arsenal, Crystal Palace, then you've got the big stadium, which is Wembley. You can go see football matches there, and gigs. You've got all the venues as well, like you've got Brixton Academy, which is cool. Yeah, you've got, you know, all the sports stuff. There are lots of bouldering centres in London as well, lots of climbing walls, lots of things to do on rooftops as well. Like Peckham's quite cool for rooftop shenanigans, like drinking. Really, there's lots of fancy rooftop bars if you're fancy. So there's things for all budgets. There are experience things. So I recently went to the Crystal Maze experience. That was really cool. I don't know if you've ever saw the programme, The Crystal Maze. It was a UK TV game show. I don't know if it made its way to other countries actually, but it's basically like you do loads of themed challenges, and you win crystals, and you work in a team, and your team members can help you out with the tasks by shouting directions at you. But yeah, you have to do the task on your own if you're picked by one of your team members, and if you win the task you get a crystal, and then basically the crystals determine how long you spend in this like dome at the end. Your teammates all go into this dome, and according to how many crystals you have, that will determine the time you get to spend in the dome, and it basically blows air into the dome, and you have like these little like foil things floating around, and you have to grab the foil things, and there's silver and there's gold, and you need to basically grab as many of those and stuff them in like a little letterbox, and then you have to collect as many points as possible to win. So there's that. There's these two really cool places called Mercato Metropolitano. There's one in Mayfair, and it's in a big old converted church, and it's just basically a place for foodies and drink. So there's loads of little stalls that will sell loads of cool things to eat, and then like cocktails and stuff. And there's also a Mercato Metropolitano in Elephant and Castle. Elephant and Castle is also on the Bakerloo line and the Northern line, and there's a massive Mercato Metropolitano there, and you go in and you can get like pizza, you can have burgers, there's Mexican, there's an Argentine grill, there's Indian, there's like, you can get like fish and chips, you can get jerk chicken or vegan stuff, you can get ice cream, you can get cocktails, there's a bar, and there's all little food stalls, and like, you know, those seats in the middle, there's seats outside. In the summer it's gorgeous, great atmosphere, so yeah, that's really cool. No, I haven't seen Silent Library. What's that? Yeah, Omar, the universities unfortunately are ridiculously expensive for international students, and university in general here is expensive. Everything is bloody expensive. Like, it's, yeah, the trains are really expensive here and they're shit. And they don't, I mean, they're getting better, but they never used to run on time. There used to be so many delays, and you would pay an arm and a leg for your train ticket, and it would be awful because it would be crowded. You wouldn't be able to get a seat, you'd be squished in like sardines, you'd be on the train for longer than anticipated because it would break down and stuff. Honestly, commuting in London back in the day was just awful. And honestly, I don't know how they get away with charging how much they do for train tickets. It's just ridiculous, honestly. It is ridiculous. But yeah, that's my rant about London. Let me know if you'd like a second video. I would be really lovely. Well, I'd be really happy to do one. I really hope that you found this really relaxing and informative and interesting. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Honestly, I do appreciate it. I really, really do. And I hope this little slice of YouTube finds you well. And I am now going to go. I'm going to go. But do feel free to subscribe. Scroll through my videos and watch the ones that you haven't seen yet. If you know, there's lots to choose from. And leave me a comment because yeah, I appreciate that too. I only like the video if you like it though. I don't want to force you to like anything. So yeah, anyway, have the most